Happy Sunday, everybody. My name is Scott Mendenhall. So glad to have you join us today. It is a good one. It is a good day to be around here. Blue is the color of choice today. Blue wall, blue shirt, red hat. My name is Scott Mendenhall. Today we got a great topic. We're talking about time. Maybe how to make time stop, stand still, or maybe just how to make do with the time you've been given. I'm joined with two amazing ladies. One, my wife of 23 years. Holly, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. How is everybody else doing?
Well, I'm doing wonderful.
Good
Lily, to my left.
Hi.
A good friend for a long time.
Also doing fabulous.
You are? Okay. How you're getting cut off by the widescreen a little bit. There you go. She's getting her face cut off. That's okay. With a little bit of adjustment. Lily. Lily,
yes.
We did a podcast this week.
Yes.
I'm going to air something out that we haven't even brought up. This is the first time she's heard this, everybody. Somebody dropped a comment that it seems like you and I have some kind of beef and we aren't getting along right now.
From this past Wednesday's podcast?
This past Wednesday. Do you remember any of that?
This is your counseling
No, but I'm
session.
so blurry.
Oh, were you out of focus?
It's okay. We're fixing it.
We're fixing the focus. We have people in here that can make it work. Okay.
I don't know
seriously.
anything about this.
Yeah, neither do I. They were just literally saying to us. You saw the beef?
I saw it.
I don't believe it.
Wait, is it on the comments?
It was a comment.
It was a comment like, that was left after podcast.
Yeah. But it happens all the time. And I was trying to think, what did we possibly do?
So you're saying I can go back and look at it?
Yes, the comment for sure, but I don't know what it's from. But we don't have beef.
I don't think so.
It was something that was an interaction between the two of you.
Okay.
I don't know, that you showed you had beef with each other.
Okay, I
He was frustrated. Let's go. Let's talk right now.
Yeah,
is it me or does Lily and Scott have some type of beef?
Right.
Kind of hostile, the exchanges between them.
What?
Who was giving the side eye?
Yeah, like the stink eye.
I'm going to say timestamp or it's not real.
Yeah, good call, good call. All right, we applaud that effort.
There you go.
Okay, that's us dealing with some of the time things we've got going on in our lives around here. If you didn't know, we do a One Wheel podcast on Wednesday. The three of us sit here. We talk about One Wheel stuff. Which this is how it goes. I do all of the research, and then I throw it to them in the moment and ask their thoughts on like things they really... What's the kind way of saying it, Holly? That you don't really... It's like to say you don't care about, but you know about, but it's like...
I don't know if that's fully true.
This is a test and you're passing.
I'm fairly aware of the one wheel world.
Yeah. But anyway, somebody said Lily and I have...
You're more aware than me.
We hope you are all doing well. Please write in the chat where you're watching from. Okay? We know we have people that are all the way down in Florida. We have all the people up in Washington, all of them. Washington State watching.
Yeah.
All of the whole state, no. But we do have people there. If you're out of the country, we'd love to know where you're watching from today. If you're in Illinois, tell us where you're watching from. Michigan, tell us where you're watching from. We want to know where the people are. I feel like that's a song.
Where are you?
What's the song?
I want to know where the people are.
Nailed it. See, we don't have a beef.
Is that what you were thinking?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, Little Mermaid.
Yeah, Little Mermaid. Never have I ever seen the live version of that. Is it worth it?
I haven't either.
Yes.
Yeah, Holly says, is it?
Wait, so you have seen it?
Yeah,
the newest version, the new.
Yeah.
How have you seen it and
action?
him not?
Because when I was out of town at one point,
the
the girls watched it.
Oh.
It's never been one that I've I'm going to go back and watch by myself. You know what I'm saying?
You know, that's the time of life we're in. There's different movies that each kid wants to watch that, you know, the girls want to watch these, the boys want to watch these, so...
Okay, so today's topic is a doozy because it is about time. It's about the ability to take advantage of the time that's been given to you. Don't let time slip through your finger. How do you prevent time from slipping away? Lily, what's one of the hacks that you got that keeps you from letting time slip away?
I think you might be a little surprised by this, but I was listening to this podcast, went on a deep dive into why Jesus said, "Pray, give me my daily bread." And it literally translates, give me what I need in the moment. And I think that in that prayer, it's a reminder of be present. Jesus wants us to be present and know he's going to provide what we need. So a hack is to pray, give me my daily bread, and just see what happens. Because he told you to pray it. You don't have to understand.
That is a doozy.
Yeah, I told you it was a deep dive. A hour, 30-minute podcast on 4 words in the Bible is amazing.
But we could do, we don't have time. Maybe that's next week's kind of podcast or our conversation here. Let's talk about the daily bread because that's a doozy. A deep dive on that, my daily bread in the moment, but the 24 hours.
Yeah.
What is it that you really need? You don't need a new jet ski.
Yeah.
You don't need
just
the body that you dream of.
The deep dive of how that's applicable to many parts of your life, not just, we often think,
Yeah.
I don't even know where to go. Okay.
Resources,
We're going
to run with that. We don't want to. We're going to save it for next week.
Yeah. I like it.
Wow. I like that.
It's going to be, so this is right now we're doing this thing called the series before the series. So it's kind of inconspicuous. You don't really know what's going to happen. So today is about time. So you already know. Next week, we're going to talk about daily bread. So bring some bread.
And it just happened in this moment. So welcome to the moment where those are online today. You got a sneak peek. We probably won't even mention this in person. It'll just sneak up upon them unless they're watching previously too. So well done.
That's how
Thank you for being a part of our community here online. So we appreciate all of you. We hope that you all had a fabulous previous week, and looking into next week. Next week is Father's Day. Mm-hmm. Father's Day.
Yep. You're a father.
I am. A couple times now.
Yes.
We thank you, Lily, in case I forgot,
Happy
right?
Father's Day.
No. I don't need no earliness because I want it full force on the day.
Forget.
But here's the deal. On the day, it is it's your birthday.
My birthday. And Courage's birthday.
The only reason I knew it was yours because Courage's birthday.
Yep. Sunday.
Yeah.
Wow. How do you feel sharing have you ever shared your birthday on Father's Day before? It's happened before, right?
I'm sure it has. I can't really remember an instance. Probably because I was spoiled.
Oh.
Anyways.
Yeah, Courage and I are in the conversation, weren't we, Holly, the other day about who's going to get the most attention on Father's Day or his birthday? Or Lily's birthday.
Yeah, I asked my husband what he would like to do like on my birthday because it's Father's Day. I was like, we should see your dad. And he was like, yeah, maybe my family will have a cake for you. I was like, okay, sounds good. I really wanted to hear, no, we'll make the whole day about you. Duh.
See, I forgot that it's your birthday. In knowing that, I should have added who will get the most attention, the three of us. Father's Day.
Lily or Courage.
The answer would be Lily.
For sure, Courage.
For sure, Lily.
For sure, Courage.
Courage, Lily, then me. That's the way. And it should be rightfully so. It's a birthday, Father's Days. You know, they're irreplaceable. Birthdays, I guess, are irreplaceable.
Yeah, I just talked to a family that their kids said there's Mother's Day, there's Father's Day, where's the Kids' Day? So today, while we're recording this, is Kids' Day in their household. The day after school ends is Kids' Day, and they get celebrated.
Now, I remember growing up, there was a Kids' Day. What? I do remember celebrating that. Even growing up in the church, they did a Kids' Sunday, which, to be honest with you,
every day is Kids' Day.
Yeah, every day is Kids' Day because somebody's buying your food, someone's buying your clothes, and until
every
about
day they're celebrated.
18 years old, maybe for some of you it's older. Reality sets in. Oh crap! I've got to do some adulting, and I have to buy my own socks and underwear. No longer are they gifts, and no longer so.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's some adults that don't do that, and they
well done. We applaud you.
Well,
those
that's
adults
a whole other topic.
Holes in the socks.
If you're one of those adults listening, well done.
Yeah,
you figured it out. Wow.
I don't know. I don't know about that.
Hey, we have 8 children. There's a chance that by it's all said and done, somebody will have lived on our couch longer than necessary.
It will happen.
It will happen.
Sure. That's okay.
We're okay
fully
with
anticipate them at some point coming back.
But here's the deal: like, if they're going to come, if they come back and they're living on the couch they're going to be working. It's fine.
Oh,
extra
absolutely.
hands getting stuff done. That's what we like.
That's right.
So, okay, time. Give us a couple songs that come to your mind. Okay, in the chat, songs that deal with time. What are some songs that immediately come to your head about time? Lily, go.
Time After Time, Cyndi Lauper.
Ooh, well done. Holly,
Time
go.
is ticking away. DC Talk.
Ooh, you took mine. Ooh, time.
Now I can't think of it anymore.
Is ticking away.
Yep,
ticking away.
That
was mine.
Good job.
Yeah. Okay,
Did
let's
you
go.
Get another one on the spot?
No, that was it. I only had one preloaded. And I'm
what
sure
time is it? Summertime.
Oh, wow,
that's vacation.
Yeah, I wonder if that came up in the chat.
High School Musical.
Yeah, High School Musical.
I was saying Hillsong Summer Camp.
Yeah, no good. Okay, how about this? Movies that deal with time. Now, this should be a little bit easier. Back to the Future.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, I got it before Lily got it.
Well, In Time.
In Time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
there's
that's a good one.
There's a lot.
Timeline.
What about Benjamin Button? The Case of Benjamin, and then Age of Adeline. I think she time travels, or maybe no, Time Traveler's Wife.
That's wife. Yep.
Yeah, Bill and Ted's. Come on, let's go with that. As Legend over there on the Switcher, coming in clutch with Bill and Ted.
Time is quite a theme in our world.
Okay, here's the last question before we get into getting more serious. Again, what is one time period if you had a time machine like Bill and Ted's? Mm-hmm. What time period would you go to, Holly? And please write it in the chat as well.
Gosh.
What time period would you go to?
I know yours.
Well, I didn't ask you to answer mine.
I'm going to go to the Wild Wild West.
Do you think it was called the Wild Wild West then?
Well, that's what we call it.
Yeah, the fact that you go Wild Wild West like it's a
when?
movie from.
I'm like,
Wild Wild West.
Like,
that's a
That's
song
a
too.
place. When though?
Like when? Like
well,
that's a late 1800s.
Yeah,
right?
I wonder
Yeah,
what the actual time frame.
I think that's late 1800s.
yeah,
But no, you said Wild Wild West. It's cool.
1865 through
There you go.
1895.
That's great.
All right.
And she would specifically go, where's that town in South Dakota that you love?
Oh,
that's where she would
Deadwood.
specifically be.
Deadwood.
Deadwood, South Dakota.
Oh, man,
That's where
that's
Deadwood.
great.
in 1865,
I'd
Deadwood,
be
South
related
I don't
Dakota.
think
to Calamity
so.
Jane.
Holly Mendenhall
Yeah.
got her straps on.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
it.
how about
That's what I
Lily?
do.
Time machine into
Oh,
where?
that's so hard. I think I would go.
If you choose anything out of the
either
Bible, I'm going to smack you with the
right
Bible.
after, right before the Great Depression, or right after.
Is that because of the book you're in right now?
Well, I really like historical fiction that takes place during the Great Depression, but I don't want to go during that because it's so hard. It's such a bad
way.
time. But I would like to, maybe right after the Great Depression ended, and maybe even in Europe, because there was
Okay.
so much calamity there, with
Way to tie
the
in
war.
Calamity Jane
Yeah,
to yours.
Calamity Jane.
Oh, yeah.
I like Calamity. You
Yeah.
like Calamity.
I'm going back like 1300s, where it was knights and nobles and peasants and
Medieval.
castles and medieval times.
Nice.
Yep, I knew
Straight up
that's what
going
you
there.
would say.
I love that time.
Anytime we
I'm a
watch
sucker for a movie.
Yeah.
Braveheart, yes, please.
Yeah.
Anything
That's
set
a
in that
little
time period.
intense
Yeah.
for me.
Me too.
I can't get enough of it. I can't. Okay.
I'm too weak for that time period.
I'm too weak for that. Yeah, I mean, probably so am I. I mean, I'm not made.
That's why I'm going to the Wild Wild West and you make up your own rules.
What? Well, yeah, but you still both Wild Wild West. Now look at what you've done to me. Wild
here we
Wild
go.
West. The 1800s and the medieval times, they are all subject to might makes right. And I'm probably not surviving in that kind of situation.
You like Braveheart, but how much are you like the main character? What'd you say?
All day, 100%, 24/7, 365, and sometimes 366, depending on what
wow.
year it is.
Oh my
Wow,
gosh.
that was intense.
That
So
was.
you would do well in the medieval time.
Yeah, it would be a little bit cutthroat.
You just need a sling.
A sling, no, a sword.
No, like David.
No, that's like way. No, like.
I'm saying you could capture the enemy because you're like David.
because you knew how to
It
throw
was supposed to be a
These are-
compliment.
Yeah, I'm tracking.
Someone's going to think I have beef with you, though.
Yeah, they are totally gonna. She's calling him scrawny, little, and got no chance to survive.
Oh my goodness.
Okay. So let's get back to. In all seriousness, we are allotted a certain amount of time, and we don't know what that is. Right? That's just the truth of it. And what are you doing with the time that's given to you? Are you making it count? Are you so? In order to get us to really ponder that thought, especially as summer comes in. I love summertime. This is the beginning of summer. School's out. I forget the number between now and school starts, and that's because everybody watching your schools start at different times. But when your school's back in session, I remember coming back to school, I always wanted a new haircut, either grow my hair out or cut it off. I wanted this change to happen in those 3 months where there's no school, because it was just an opportunity to change. Well, it's summertime, and that opportunity exists again to change, to become the person you want to be. We were on a group ride last week talking with my good friend Zach, and we were talking about, man, you know what's interesting with all these graduates? It's the primary question is, what are you going to do? What are you going to go do? What are you going to go do? And he's like, why is nobody asking what kind of person you want to be? What are you going to work on you? Who didn't be? And sometimes we just get lost in the do's and achieving things. This is a summer where you can work on you and become the person you want to be. This is it. You're allotted this amount of time. You won't get this summer back. You think about the songs that pop on the radio that you hear and you're like, oh, that takes me right back to that summer. Because it's a time period you don't ever get back again. Mm-hmm. And that song takes you right back to that pool party you're at. And it was like so much fun because that's what you did. Or jumping on a trampoline. Or you got a black and white TV for the first time. And you're like, oh, this is awesome. There's humans in this box. How do they ever do this? How'd they squeeze them in? I don't know what the songs take back to, but you get it. It's time in your life that's captured by a moment. Well, we want to have a series of those moments in our lives, but it only happens by being intentional. And so that's what's today's conversation. We're going to go to a song here where we want to be able to give you a moment to ponder. Now, we played this song last week, and this week we're playing it again because it just makes sense. It fits in the moments. The words, waiting here for you, make sense. I'm waiting here for you. I'm taking my precious time, God, and I'm going to pause for a moment and give you the next 3-4 minutes to wait on you to tell me how to spend my summer. What are my goals and things of that nature? And so listen to this song, enjoy it, and then we'll be right back to really start the conversation on what are you doing with your time. Don't let it tick away. We'll be right back.
Faith can move the mountains. Let the mountains move. We come with expectation. We're waiting here for you. We're waiting here for you. Still you know my heart, the author of salvation. You've loved me from the start. Waiting here for you, with our hands lifted high. And it's you we adore, singing
Okay, today's a little bit unique. Lily dropped a hint a little bit ago. Maybe some of you caught it. This has been pre-recorded. This is a fine Friday evening. I am currently at a camp, speaking at the camp that I originally started 24 years ago with my bride, Holly.
Long time ago. 23
years ago, I guess it would be, because we would have been a year married or so, so not 24, so 23 years. We've done 23 years in a row summer camps. And we're going back to the original where we started it, and they're ending it. After 20-some years, it's going to come to an end, and we get to be the guest speakers for the week of camp. What a privilege and honor. And in those traveling, sometimes it just makes sense to us to pre-record. That's not a heart's desire, but it allows us to be able to continue to be excellent here for you watching today. And it also allows us to be excellent at our other location here in the Twin Cities, because Lily, though she's here with you at this very moment, she's in two places at once.
Whoa.
Yeah, talking about time too, which is so fun.
Two places at once. She's figured it out, everybody, how to be in two places at one time. So she's going to be talking about time as well there. Who knows what it'll be like, because it's not going to be recorded for your ears. You'll have to put up with me. Me in an older time, a time period that was not so long ago, but looks very different because my hair it's looking rough. That's what I can say.
In the video?
Yeah, it's like trying to grow it out from having a shaved head, and now I was in front of an audience of thousands, and a hat didn't feel appropriate. But I look like a Q-tip.
Just getting it real, guys.
Yeah, we're
keeping
just
it real
for
for
real.
you.
I just make all the comments. Is that a wig? It's my real hair.
I don't think anyone would have said
was fuzzy.
anything.
No, it's like I'm aware of what's going on
we're
here.
just trying to enhance, the experience of knowing like what style you were in every different time period.
Yes, right. So this teaching talks about time, and it's 2 years into starting Unlock Church. So you're going to go to time travel backwards to hear a thought from me 2 years into the church plant, which at that point in time, I had a lot of questions for God, because I thought we were going to leave the 25th largest church in the United States and come and be a mega church overnight. And boy, has God had a different journey, and it's been an amazing journey. I wouldn't trade it even for nothing, because of to see what God has done in the people we've been able to reach that other pastors have not been able to reach. Wouldn't change it forever. But in that time period in my life, I was like, man, what are you doing in my life, God? And so you're going to get just a moment where Unlock Church was just turned. I mean, we're going to turn 2, I think, so we're a year and a half or so. Right after summer camp, I went down to Miami, Florida, and spoke. So that's what you're going to see here. Legend and Epic traveled with me. You can watch the vlogs on my YouTube channel if you want to see the behind the scenes of things of that week. It's all on there. You just got to deep dive on the vlog side of things. Okay, so here is me after I've been introduced at Potential Church in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Enjoy. We'll be right back to wrap it up. Today, I want to talk about time. As a dad, I understand time. As a church planner, I understand time. Like some days I want to speed up time. A lot of times when it comes to my kids, I want time to slow down. Often prayers I pray is, Jesus, slow down the sun. Slow that sun down. I need more time with my kids. I need more time with my wife. I don't want to die. I want more time. And when it comes to time, some of you are like that, and you want more time with your family, but less time at work. We want to be able to go, well, no, we want to allocate this time. When we're in what I call the meantime, where you're in between a relationship that went bad and you want to be married real bad, and you're in the meantime while it's not showing up, you're like, Jesus, where you at? Forgot about me. All my friends are married, but I'm not. I'm in the meantime. And in the meantime is where we want it to get real short. We want it to be like the length of a breath. Okay, we're over. That was great. Okay, it was tough. Whew, it's dangerous. I really had to trust Jesus there. Whew. But Jesus is like, no, meantimes is where we most learn. The mountain peaks, we don't learn usually there because we're throwing parties. Woo, life is great. At the valleys, we're going, oh, wow, what am I doing? And that's where we make most dangerous decisions, is in the meantime. We're waiting for Jesus to show up and show off. And I think you see it the best when you raise kids. People always are telling me when they find out that we have 7 kids, and I'm like, oh, I can't wait till they're teenagers because it's so much fun. They go, enjoy it while they are at this age, because they grow up so fast, right? Anybody ever say that? They grow up so fast. They'll blink and it'll be, yeah, it's true. You can see it in my kids, especially coming back here now, and people are like, well, how's the family? When we left 4 years ago, my kids, 4 years younger. And since the oldest is 10, 4 years ago, you got a 6, and then you have a 5-year-old. That's really little. Like everybody's going, oh yeah, you're so little. You're so little. They were so little. They're so cute. They're still cute. They just come with a little bit more attitude now. So you see time. I traveled with a few things that would help me illustrate this really quick, and we'll show you. They're in the suitcases because it's just the way you can travel with this size stuff. But what I need to do is we're going to count it down, and then I'll review. This is going to help you see it the best, especially if you know me. So can you go 3, 2, 1? There we go. There we go. This is my two oldest boys. Come here. Are you wounded? Come on up here. Come up here. Guys, we take care of them. They had a blanket in there, okay? They both had blankets. They're calling these their homes right now. They're mobile homes. Epic. All right, so come here, Ledge. Really cool guy, guys. Ledge, how old are you?
10.
What is your favorite football team?
Vikings.
Yeah, all right, Skull Vikings. What is your favorite thing about Minnesota?
Snowboarding.
Why?
Because it's fun.
Okay. This dude can shred on some slopes. Epic, how old are you?
8.
When's your birthday?
August 13th.
What would you like for your birthday?
A guitar.
A guitar, okay. They've been told, like, if they do this well, that they'll get a penny board. So we've bribed them to stay in there. They're like, penny boards, yes, skateboards. What's your favorite thing about Minnesota?
The snow.
See, this dude was born here. He loves the snow. So all of you are afraid of the snow. It's not as scary as you think, okay? Boys, grab your homes and hit the road. Here you go, Epic. Take that with you. Would you put your... You might want to shut that mic off. You have no idea what Epic might say with the mic in his hand. He's got the power. But here's the deal. For those that knew Legend and Epic, you're going, man, they grew up so fast. Wow, I remember when they were this. That illustrates how fast time goes. I mean, I'm back there. They're putting makeup on me today, and they're using primer to fill in my wrinkles. I love the sun, but the sun doesn't love me back. It gives me wrinkles. And then I didn't priming my face. It just let me know I'm old. I'm in my 40s all of a sudden. I'm old. Some of you are like, well, wait, hold on. If you're old and I'm 60, I must be real old. I didn't say it. You say, I told Holly, I'm like, no, I'm not old. I wear skinny jeans. She's like, yeah, I was going to tell you, they're just a little tight. I'm like, no, they're not. She told me why she thought they were tight. I was like, it's okay. Somebody like, well, how do you get those? We paint these on, okay? These are painted. Stop looking at my legs, though. Stop it. Seriously, stop looking at my legs. It's getting awkward. These are jars full of Skittles. This one represents Legend's weeks that I have till he turns 18. And this is a jar of Skittles, weeks left that I have with Epic. Age difference, so it's filled a little bit different. 390 weeks till Legend turns 18, and 474 weeks until Epic turns 18. Kind of symbolizing 18, they're an adult. If they so choose to move out, they can move out. That's where they're an adult. I have no idea if they'll move out. My luck, all 7 children will just live with me. It's just the way it'll go. They'll all buy their own dogs. It'll just be a great reality TV show. But I'm measuring time. Really, I got it from a commercial from Skittles years ago where they had an hourglass that represented a dude's life, and Skittles were going down, and a guy's eating a Skittle, and as he eats the Skittles, the dude was getting older by the second every time he ate. If you haven't seen it, it's really funny. You should YouTube it. And for those that subscribe to our channel, thank you so much for doing that. But this puts it into context that time goes really fast, because seriously, that's not that much time left. For me to raise them as men of God, to speak into their life, to direct them and guide them, that's not much time. I mean, after today, we've got to pull one jelly bean out, or one Skittle, out, because time keeps moving. Time is ticking away. So I want to talk about it. And what do you do in the meantime where you want it the fastest? You want it to go really, really fast. We ask this question at Unlock Church every weekend. So we're going to ask it to you. What is Jesus going to say to you today, and what are you going to do about it? What is Jesus saying to you, and what are you going to do about it? Jesus brought you here today. You didn't go on your cruise this weekend. You didn't go on your vacation of the 4th of July weekend because Jesus wanted you to be here to hear something. That could have been through worship already. It could be through a video already. It could be through something. But Jesus wants to speak to you, and he wants you to do something about it. It does no good to just post on Instagram or social media what Jesus said to you, and you do nothing. That's just madness. Oh, no, Jesus is speaking to me, but then you do nothing about it. You get no results. Jesus talks about that a heap in the Bible. He calls people a foolish builder if you listen to my words, but you do nothing about it. So Jesus is going to speak to you, or he already has. What are you going to do about it? So when you feel the tap on the shoulder, the nudge inside to do something, Jesus is saying, that's for you. You got to figure out, what am I going to do about that one thing? It's on you. Especially if you call yourself a follower of Jesus, then follow Jesus. Let him have influence in your life. I want to read a verse from an author in the Bible. His name is John. He authored his very own book called John. John was one of many disciples that went around and did life with Jesus and recorded the acts of Jesus and the words Jesus spoke. And he wrote it down so that we might be able to have eyewitness accounts of what Jesus said he did, so that we might be able to live our life the way Jesus planned for. Instead of giving our opinion on social media, maybe we should start going, this is what Jesus has to say about things in culture. And instead of giving our political view, what if we talk about what Jesus has to say how to treat people? Because after all, our job is to do 4 things. Love others, serve others, forgive others, and not to judge others. Those are the 4 things. If you do something other than those 4 things, you're not doing what Jesus told you to do. So if your posts are not serving one another, if your posts aren't forgiving one another, if your posts are not, if your posts aren't judging others, you're not doing what Jesus wants you to do. And if you're not, I forget the other 4 because I have ADD. But if you're not doing those other things, then go back and do one of those, right? If you're not serving, then serve. If you're not loving somebody because they said something to you, they looked at you funny, well, Jesus says love them. He didn't break it down anymore. He just says, hey, love your enemies. He didn't leave room for a rebuttal, but what if they do that? Love them. Love them. Jesus says this. I think this is so. If you want peace in your life, ultimate peace in your, somebody tries to pin, this is not my notes, this is just free here, okay? There's a lawyer guy in the Bible, there's a story goes where a lawyer is trying to pin Jesus up against the wall on what's the greatest commandment. It's a lawyer, so if you're a lawyer, you know, you want the facts, you want the law. And so he's coming, what's the law say is the greatest thing that I can do to get into heaven, to be the most like you? And so Jesus replies to the lawyer who's trying to trap him against the wall. He says, well, it's to love God with all of your heart, mind, and soul. To love God, put God number 1. The lawyer goes, well done, that's it. That's what the law says. To love God, put him number 1. Any of us that are followers of Jesus going, yes, I know that. Then Jesus says something so profound. He says, what I'm about to say is equal to number 1. He doesn't say it's number 2. We want to put things in some A, B, C order or 1, 2, 3 order because it's easy for us to wrap our minds around it. But Jesus comes in and says, hold up, this is equal to love God. He goes on and says to the lawyer guy, but hold on, before you walk away and applaud me, I also want you to love your neighbor as yourself. Okay, there's 3 things in what Jesus said there that if you want ultimate peace in your life, if you do not have peace in your life currently, you have a broken thing in one of those 3 areas. First one is God. If you're not at peace with God, you'll never have peace in your life. You'll never truly be happy. You will replace what ultimately will make you happy with pleasure. And pleasure, the problem with pleasure is you have to keep doing it more and more to experience the same amount of pleasure you got once before. What once took you to get high on something, now you have to take 2 of those to get high. Or what used to make you get drunk so you can forget your pain, now you have to drink more because the thing about pleasure, it requires more to get the same result that you're looking for, which is ultimately happiness. We're on a happy quest here. Let's be honest. And so Jesus comes and says, if you want to be happy, then be at peace with God. Then he goes on and says this, then be at peace with your neighbors. And who's your neighbors? Is everybody sitting around you. The person you absolutely can't stand and the people you love being around. The person that cuts you off, let's be honest, this is South Florida. Everybody cuts somebody off and you want to like poke them in the eye or do something worse, right? Road rage is a real thing here. Jesus says, love them. Jesus says, are you at peace with that driver right now? Because if you're not, you're going to surrender your ultimate happiness to that driver. And then Jesus goes on and says, okay, so it's peace with God, peace with others. Love your neighbor as yourself. If you can't love yourself, then you're not at peace with yourself, then you surrender your happiness. So if you're not happy, you got a problem with one of those three things. It's not because you don't have a car or your car broke down or your kid said something to you. That's not ultimately what makes you happy. Jesus saying, I designed you to find happiness in one of three places: peace with God, peace with people, and peace with yourself. And if you aren't at peace with someone else, you can't be at peace with God. Because God created them in his image. So if you've got a problem with one of his people he created, you ultimately have a problem with God. Okay? It's like this. If some of you came up to me and go, Scott, I've missed you, man. I love you, bro. You're amazing. You know, all these great accolades, but your wife, I'm so glad she's not here. Whew, she's crazy. Okay, she pushed 7 kids out naturally. I got a problem with her. How many know if you got a problem with my wife, you got a problem with me? Because I love my wife. So if you got a problem with one of the people in this world that Jesus died and rose again for those people, every person, every religious person, every person that's done some heinous things in nightly news that you look at and go, how can they do that? Jesus died for them, and sometimes I don't understand that. Sometimes I'm like, Jesus, how could you die for that person? They're awful. They're disgusting. And then I'm reminded, I want to be in a relationship with them too. I don't understand it. I know, I'm a pastor. I should understand it. I don't. All I understand is that I got to be at peace with people. Because ultimately, I want to be in peace with God. I want to be at peace with myself because that's the beginning of true happiness. That's free today, okay? That's not in my notes. I didn't say that to anybody else. Someone here needed to hear that. If you're struggling being happy, get at peace with those three things, and don't justify why you can be mad at your parents because of what they did when you were younger. Jesus says forgive and forget. It's time to latch on to that and forgive a bunch of people. It's a lot more lovely in life. Let's get back to John chapter 10:10. And I only have 7 minutes left, so I'm going to talk really fast. Mary Escobar, who is a translator, I am so sorry. It's going to get really fast from here, so everyone fasten your seatbelts. I think I got 16 pages of notes here, and so here we go. John 10:10, theme of last week's camp for us. John 10:10, we quote a ton, but we only quote half of it. These are Jesus' words. If you got an old school Bible, you'll find that most of the time in old school Bibles, John 10:10 is in red because it's Jesus speaking. And if you know anything, when Jesus speaks, we better pay attention because he's speaking to you and to me. He wants to teach us the truth, how to be more human and to be more like him and how he created us. Jesus doesn't want to be a dictator in your life. He doesn't want to control you, manipulate you, do anything negative. He wants to come and give you life and life more abundantly. That's the second part of John 10:10. That's the part we all quote. That's the part we put on a refrigerator. But the first part of that is the setup to John 10:10, the part where Jesus says, I came to give life and life more abundantly. It's the setup part is the whoa part, the part that should make your brains fire. So let me read the part that you don't probably hear very often, but you know of, and you probably give credit to someone or something that you shouldn't. Let me read Jesus' words, John 10:10. The thief comes only to steal, kill, and destroy. If you've grown up in the church, you're like, I know who the thief is. The thief is the devil, Satan. Yeah, you're probably right. Well done. I'd give you a B+. That's like only there's 3 answers a lot you can give around. You know, if it's a positive situation, you just say Jesus or love, you're probably going to get it. If it's on a negative topic, the devil, okay? You got it, well done. You're really churched. You know it. But who do you really think the thief is? Jesus is setting it up, right? This is the setup. The thief comes to steal, kill, and destroy. But I have come to give life and life more abundantly. What did Jesus do? He came to give you life, not take life from you. He came to give you something, not to control you. And so Jesus is setting up going, okay, now who's the thief? And I'm sure the crowd, just like you're like, okay, get to it. Who's the thief? Let me ask this question in a different way. Who in your life has the greatest potential to steal your future, to kill any relationships, or destroy your life? Who has the potential to take something from you that you want when it comes to your future, or destroy your life, or kill any relationship around you? Who is it? It's you. You. Culture would say it this way. See, if you read your Bible more, you'll find out that culture just tries to reword what Jesus already said. Because culture says, I'm my own worst enemy. A+ right there. That's well done. Culture says we're our own worst enemy, where Jesus came along and says, right, you're the thief. You're the one stealing your potential. You're the one stealing your dreams. But we want to blame it on our wife and our husband. Well, if I wouldn't have married him, I wouldn't be here. That's not their fault. You are your thief. You didn't get into the school perhaps because you didn't study how you should have. You're your own thief. And we don't like that because, man, we like the feeling of, oh, no, it's their fault. It's them. My legend, the oldest, he's great at this. He's the guy that blames it on somebody else. Like this morning, we're back there, and the legend's drinking out of a coffee mug, milk. And he's drinking, and I look over, and he's got milk running down his shirt. I'm like, bro, what's going on? You got a hole in your lip? And he's like, I don't know, but it's Epic's fault. Epic was on the other side of the room, and I'm like, what did Epic do? Blow from over there? Has he got some superhuman ability to and blow the milk? He's like, what? And then he goes, well, I've never drunk out of a coffee mug. And I just said, bro, I'm not looking for you to blame it on anything. I'm just kind of having a good time. But you got milk dribbling out of your face. Okay? Figure it out. Fix it. We are so quick to blame, I didn't get the promotion because that person cheated their way. They were brown-nosing. They liked them more. We blame the lack of the promotion, or the lack of the finances, or the lack of the relationship on somebody else. We don't sit there and go, okay, Jesus, what are you up to? Because those are the mean times. We don't have the promotions. We're just sitting there waiting and waiting. You're 30 years old. You've been married for 5 years. You've been trying to have kids. And I understand the severity of that situation. And you're going, man. And you're trying everything. And you go, instead of going, Jesus, what do you want to teach me? Prepare me to be a mom or dad. What are you trying to show me? Our prayers are always centered when we're in the meantime about us. Jesus, make this time shorter. Give me the money to pay my bills. When we're in the meantime of Jesus showing up and showing off in our lives, we're like, Jesus, our prayers are all about us, where Jesus is like, it's not all about you. We are a small part in the big story. See, I said it like this. We learn from our mistakes in the areas that matter least. In video games, sports, hobbies. We learn from our mistakes in matters that affect our lives very little. They're just, whatever. You play a video game, whatever you're into, Fortnite, Super Mario Brothers, depends how old you are. And you're playing, and you're like, oh, can't go that way. They keep chopping my head off. Oh, man, the mushroom. Don't eat that one. It's bad for you. Mushrooms are bad for you, okay? You learn in those moments in life that just, we repeat our mistakes in areas that matter the most. When it comes to finances. Oh man, I ran out of money, so I'm going to go get more money from the bank. It's a genius idea. I'll just keep borrowing more. I'm in debt, so to fix debt is to get more debt. Genius. But we keep doing it. It's like we really think that's the good plan. Or when it comes to relationships, we keep going, why do I keep getting into bad relationships? It's because you keep making bad decisions. Just a dating advice for all the ladies here. I got 2 daughters, and I'm fearful for their lives when it comes to dating. But when it comes to dating, ladies, if you roll into a first date and the boy shows you how awesome his car is and it's not paid for, and he tells you he's in debt for that, you go, nice to meet you, your car's great, I'm out. Just hit the road. There's no reason to go on the date. He likes his car more than you. okay? It's just the truth, okay? If the guy shows up on a skateboard to pick you up, and he's got one for you, that's a catch. He thought of you, okay? He showed up with his skateboard for you. That's like, you just record that stuff, because look at what our first date was. It was cute. He picked us up on a skateboard. The dude's a budgeter, clearly. He's got it going on, okay? That's just free, okay? But we want, when it comes to the dating stuff, we don't want to be single forever, so we just start, you start your New Year's resolution out. If you're single, man, Jesus, I just want to date somebody, eventually I want to marry somebody that loves you. They serve at the church. They love kids because I want kids. And Jesus, I just want a guy that's like 6 foot tall and maybe blue eyes and maybe athletic build. Jesus, I'll wait for that. That's January. June comes. Jesus, maybe I'll just take a guy that loves you and serves. The height thing doesn't matter. They can be 4 foot. January of the next year, Jesus, when I open my eyes, whatever guy's standing in front of me, I'm going to date. That's how it goes. We want the meantime to be short, and we're like, Jesus, you've forgotten about me, so okay, I'm taking the wheel again. I'm going to make a decision. And what I've learned about decisions is, and we are the common denominator in our decisions. Decisions we make today determine the stories we will tell. We make our decisions, and decisions make us. Wise people, based on the way the authors in the Bible say a wise person is someone that understands that yesterday is connected to your future, that it's all a big piece. It's not just, well, that's my past, it doesn't matter. Really, try this then. Go to work tomorrow, steal a bunch of things, get fired, and try to go get another job the next day and tell them, I got fired because I stole all their money. They're not going to go, oh, that's cool. That was yesterday. It's not a big deal, right? It's all connected. If you get into a new dating relationship, at some point, somebody's going to ask the awkward question, so how many boyfriends, girlfriends do you have? Well, are we counting high school too? Are we like early 20s? Like, where are we starting here? Because you're like, well, if I tell you all of it, it's going to be really embarrassing, right? Our past becomes our future. We don't want it to be that way. We want to be able to go out and have an isolated weekend where it's just amazing good time, like questionable good times, where we regret it. We want it to be, well, that was last weekend, next week I'm going to start over. It's not separated. Wise people know that every decision is connected to the future. Your decisions you make today will be a permanent part of your story. You get to choose a lot of the way your story goes by the decisions you make. Here's the concept of the meantime. John the Baptist, pretty big figure in Jesus' life. John the Baptist is a man that baptized Jesus in the Jordan, which that's pretty big, right? A pretty big character in the Jesus story. John the Baptist points at Jesus and says, I can't fill his sandals. This is the Son of God. This is Jesus. This dude is this guy. Follow him, don't follow me. Says all the right things. And we pick up in a story from the author Matthew in his book called Matthew, chapter 11, verse 1. And we're going to start where the author records here. He says, after Jesus had finished instructing his 12 disciples, he went out from there to teach and preach in the town of Galilee. Why is that important? Everything in the Bible is important. Some of you're like, I don't get it. Why is that important? Because it sets up the next part of the story. If you just Google Galilee, it's like a resort. It's like white sandy beaches, palm trees everywhere. Somebody's coming up to Jesus, can I get you a pina colada? I'll refill it. And probably not, probably like more like wine. But it's where you want to go. It's like where you go to vacation from here, right? That's where Jesus is headed. And then in verse 2, when John, who was in prison, heard about the deeds of the Messiah, he sent his disciples. So John is in contrast to where Jesus is headed. He hears about what Jesus is doing. Here's where Jesus is heading. Going, hold up, Jesus. You were like so close to me. You were right in my neck of the woods. And then you decided to go where? You're leaving me? Hold up. You're healing all these people. You're doing amazing. And you're leaving me in the prison. I baptized you. might be similar for you. Wait, hold, Jesus, you haven't healed my mom or dad. You haven't gotten me a promotion yet. Jesus, have you forgotten about me? I grew up in the church. I volunteer. I tithe. I do all these things, Jesus. Where are you at, Jesus? My kids are not following you, Jesus, and I took them to school, or I took them to Sunday school. I took them to church every Sunday. How in the world, Jesus, would you let them fall away? What are you doing, Jesus? So John the Baptist is saying, Jesus, how can you let this happen to me? He's in a meantime. And Jesus responds to the disciples because John the Baptist is in contrast a dungeon, stone, dark, wet, moist, nastiness, rats everywhere, no pina coladas, nothing like that. And here is Jesus who is leaving that, and Jesus replies to him. He says, go back and report to John what you've seen. Says to the disciples, tell him the amazing things that I've done. And then Jesus says this, blessed. Did you know this, that when you see the word blessed most of the time in the Bible, blessed is really should be translated are happy. Blessed means happy. So happy. Happy is anyone who does not stumble on account of me, of what I do. When I delay in answering the prayers, happy are those that don't freak out, that don't go, Jesus, where are you at, man? Happy are those. In the meantime, when you're waiting for the answers to your prayers, happy are those that don't lose faith in Jesus. Now, 4 years ago, left Potential Church to start Unlock Church. Man, I rolled out of here thinking I was the LeBron James of pastors. I was like the best of the best. Man, I was under the leadership of Pastor Troy. I know so much leadership. I'm going to go to Minnesota, and people are going to flock to me, and we're going to start this church, and it's going to be amazing. And people are going to come to me and go, Scott, how did you do it? And I would say, I'm super creative. I got tattoos. You need kids' names like legend, epic, icon, historic, inspire, courage, greatness. You need those kind of kid names. And people would just come to you. And I would just brag about what I was like, yeah, Jesus, you called the right man for the right job to go to the tundra of Minnesota and do something great. Okay, maybe not the LeBron James, the Michael Jordan of basketball. Okay, he's way better than LeBron. And somebody, I heard that amen. I like that. I like that. And so that was where I left. In that attitude, I got there, knew no one, sat in an office and go, okay, what am I going to do now? First Sunday rolled by, didn't teach. Easter came by that year, didn't teach. At the time we had left, we had been in ministry for 17 years, and that was the first Easter in 17 years I had not teach. For the next 2 years, I don't step on a platform and teach. I'm good at it though, Jesus. Come on, man. Why are you benching me, Jesus? Where are the people at, Jesus? The vision you gave me about a church planning or helping start 150 churches in the Twin Cities. How's this going to happen, Jesus? Because there's nobody around. We're going to fail miserably at this, Jesus, and I'm embarrassed. I was afraid. All of a sudden, I become the thief of my dreams, going, this isn't going to happen anymore. I'm going to have to put my tail between my legs and come back to Pastor Troy and say, Pastor Troy, can I just come back and I'll do whatever you want me to do. I'll sweep all the parking lots. If that's what you want, I'll just do, that's what I felt like I was going to have to do. I was in the meantime. And in the meantime, I learned a very, very important thing. And this is what I want you to get today. That our deepest needs become a gift when it drives us to depend on God. Our deepest need becomes a gift when it drives us to depend on God. Until you get to that spot in your meantime situation, you're going to be in the meantime. Because Jesus is trying to get you to depend on him because he wants to give you life and life more abundantly, more life than you can contain. But until you depend on him, till you trust him, it's not happening. And Jesus doesn't make bad things happen. He's not responsible for those things. He does step back and go, okay, I'm going to let some of these things happen. I'm just going to, because I need you to learn because in the valleys we learn so much more than we do on the mountaintops, like I said before. And until you realize the deepest need you have is actually the gift because it's going to drive you to God, And so then all of a sudden it switched really quick as we were doing church planning. Okay, Jesus, I'm not building my kingdom. I don't care who knows what we're doing anymore. I don't care if somebody's following the story of Unlocked Church. All I want to do is I want to point people to you, Jesus. I want people to find you. I don't want them to find Unlocked Church. I don't want them to find Scott Mendenhall. I want them to find you, Jesus, because you are the one that changes lives. I don't change anybody. You don't change anybody. And so somebody caught that. I was like, wait, noise. Last service, he came out with the silver bandana on. I thought he was on the silver team for student camp. He's not. Now he has the orange one on. Are you on the orange team? You got a lot of teams now. See, I said something, and all these teams want him to represent. So you're probably going to get them points. Well done, bro. Well done. Here's how I'm going to wrap this up is one last story. And honestly, it has changed for me. I no longer view myself as a gifted, talented anything. I am a follower of Jesus just like you, trying to point as many people as I can to Jesus. That's it. I'm trying to stand between the gates of hell and people that don't know Jesus and say, turn around, it's that way. Find Jesus, find Jesus. You don't want to go this direction, go that direction. Find Jesus. He wants to give you life. He doesn't want to control you. He loves you. He loves everyone no matter what you've done, no matter how heinous you think it is. He loves you. He can forgive you. And then you need to forget what you did when he forgives you. Stop bringing that stuff back up. Have peace with yourself, God, and others. A couple weeks ago, back at Christmas, my wife, Holly, who I love, we've been married for 17 years, got me the best gift she's ever gotten me in our 17 years of marriage. She, up at that point, was the worst gift giver ever. She knows it. We've talked about it. It's been a moment of contention on our marriage for 17 years, that she's a horrible gift giver. And she got me an electric skateboard called a boosted board at Christmas, and I was so excited. It's like, yeah, electric skateboard, this is amazing. They go 22 miles an hour. You have a remote control in your hands. You have brakes on it. It's so much fun. I love skateboarding. Now all of a sudden it's like it's just fast and you can go. It was negative 35 degrees out on Christmas, so I did not ride it outside. I value my face and my skin a little too much, and so I did not ride it. And summer happened 2 days ago in Minnesota, and so I got the boosted board out. Some of you missed that. I said 2 days ago summer happened. It wasn't that long. It was a little bit longer ago. But I started riding the boosted board through the summer. I'm about 500 miles in on my boosted board. And one night, we put all 7 kids to bed. I don't know if they were our 7, but we put 7 to bed. And I said, Holly, I'll go get us dinner. And so I was like, I'll go get some Chipotle. Anybody? Chipotle fan? Yeah. Jesus is good to us. He allowed somebody to create Chipotle. Amen. So I ran to Chipotle, got some burritos the side of our head, and then came back. And I'm riding, the sun hadn't set yet. It's still bright. And I see a black BMW behind me coming. And I'm like, we're okay. They're going to see me. I had a blinking lights on. I look back again a little bit closer. Third time I look back, they're really close, and they hit me. At 55 miles an hour, a car hit me right off my skateboard. I tried to jump as they were coming at me, and they hit my feet, which then spun me around like a helicopter prop and just flew me 3 lanes into oncoming traffic. And I roll around, and I see my boosted board stuck under a car, and I'm like, oh no, I loved that thing. That was the best gift ever my wife has given me. It's gone forever. Finally, he came back to me, rolls down the window, and I was a little disgruntled. I mean, he hit me, okay, and ran over my skateboard, and I was like, bro, you're just a human being. I didn't want to, it was like, you understand, like, you hit me. He's like, I did not see you. In my mind, I was like, that's a good answer, because if you said you saw me and then hit me, we got problems, okay? I'm hoping you didn't see me and still hit me, okay? I got blood coming out of me. You know, you're trying to keep that, you're supposed to keep that stuff in you, but it's coming out at a rapid speed. And my pants are missing at this point on my left side, and blood's coming out of my legs. And he's like, are you all right? I go, I think I'm going to be okay as long as the red stuff, more of it stays on the inside than comes out. I think we're going to be okay. And then I said, I'm going to call the 911 just to make sure. I've never been hit by a car. And he's like, yeah, I was doing 55 miles an hour, bro. I was like, yeah, let's call somebody. So we call the police, and they all come, and they roll up on the scene. And as the story is being told by Tyler, the guy that hit me, the officer goes, hold on. You were driving 55 miles an hour and hit him. And he said, I've never rolled up into a scene where somebody's been hit by a car at 55 miles an hour and they're standing. Nothing seems to be broken. And he goes, this is crazy. And, at that moment, I didn't know what was going on. I was just like, okay, great. Can we stop the bleeding? And my head hurts. Okay, it was like, yeah, that's great. Applause later. And so the officer goes, I don't know any of the laws with boosted boards and electric skateboards, so I gotta go read about it. And so he goes to his cop car, does his thing, and I'm standing there talking to Tyler, and I go, Tyler, I think Jesus is trying to get your attention. He's like, why do you think that? I go, because I'm a pastor. You hit me. I think Jesus wants to say something to you. And Tyler goes, yeah, man, I said something like, do you know who Jesus is? He's like, no, I know, I've heard of him. I have never been to church. And I said, Tyler, why don't you, first he goes, man, I want to do something. Can I buy you a new skateboard? And I was like, yeah, man, no, they're $1,500. He's like, oh, wow, can I make payments? I was like, no payments are necessary. I go, why don't you just do this? Mother's Day's on Sunday. Why don't you grab your mom and come on Sunday and we'll give her a gift for Mother's Day? And the officer walks back in and he goes, hold on. You just invited him to church to give his mom a gift? What is happening? First you aren't broken and now you're inviting him to church. I don't understand what's going on. I said, officer, you come to church too. You'll see what it's all about. He goes, because most of the time when the victim in this situation is trying to really work up a scene so that I write up a report so you can get lots of money. There are people that had heard this story and said, Scott, this might be the way Jesus is going to provide the money you need for your church plant. Like, I'm not even making it up. Like, people say some dumb stuff. I just sat there in the conversations afterwards and on the side of the street just going, what would Jesus do in this moment? Jesus wouldn't say, buy my skateboard, bro. You're an idiot for hitting me. You shouldn't have been texting and driving. Jesus would not have done that. Jesus would have been like, it's okay. We'll figure it out. I'm not trying to say I'm Jesus. I am the king of messy people. I say things I wish I wouldn't have said. I think things that are embarrassing. I am a messy guy. But for one moment in my life, a monumental moment in my life, I might have got it right where I invited him to church. And I didn't try to get the money that, our church plant needs. Or my family needs. I said, man, Jesus will take care of us and take care of Tyler. And so Sunday, the next day I wake up and, man, my body hurt. But I was like, I'm going for a run. Strap on my shoes. Holly's like, you're not doing that. That's dumb. Don't do that. So I didn't go on a run. And my head kept hurting. I went and taught on that Sunday, and I watched back the video. I'm slurring all my words and no real clear thoughts coming out. I should have never done it. But I'm a church planner, and there's not many options. And so I was like, I taught, and Tyler shows up, his girlfriend shows up, and his mom shows up, and they were super nervous. After all, they're coming to a place where the dude that's talking on the stage, he hit. All I got to do is go, I'd like to draw your attention to Tyler and his mom right over here. They ran over me. Look at that guy right there. Can we just put, I could have. So they're nervous, and then they've never been in church. And afterwards, after this church service, I went up to Tyler and his mom, and they just said, I've never been to church, and we don't know what this means when we say this, but we found Jesus today. We've never been. There's so much peace in here. We can't believe that you are not trying to sue us, and they're just tears in their eyes and found Jesus. And the 4-year-old ago, Scott would have probably fallen for the trap to go. This is Jesus' way of providing money for us. I would have fallen for it. The Scott now, where it's about Jesus and all about Jesus and His kingdom. What is the wise thing to do for other people? How do I point you in here and those on the street and those that are driving cars to Jesus? How do I point everybody to Jesus? At that moment, I got it right. I haven't got it right every time. And forever, their lives are changed. Now, you're like, oh, so they come to church every Sunday since then? No. Found Jesus. They come once in a while. I know where he works, so I'm pastoring where he works. He works at Best Buy. I go buy like a little cord all the time. Hey, Tyler, funny bumping into you here today. I just needed this little dongle. Dongle, thank you, Apple, for creating a word, dongle. But coming in to buy this, Tyler, how are you doing? Pastoring him there. And I know Jesus is going to work on his heart. Whose kingdom are you building? Is it all about you? Or can you find yourself staying in the meantime till you depend on Jesus completely? that all your needs are provided by Jesus, that your promotions are from Jesus, your relationships are from Jesus. And stay in the meantime until you know what Jesus tells you to do. If you haven't heard from Jesus, then stay put. Wait till Jesus tells you to do something. And if you know Jesus told you to do something and you haven't done that thing yet, go back to where he said to do something and go do it. Because he's waiting for you to be obedient. Go back and do the thing you know you're supposed to do. If that's a conversation of forgiveness, go have the conversation today. You'll find much more peace in your life. Would you close your eyes? And I ask the question to you, what is Jesus saying to you and what are you going to do about it? What is he saying to you? Some of you know exactly what Jesus is saying to you. Now, I want you to picture yourself doing what you're going to do about it. If that is a phone call with somebody, if that's asking forgiveness with somebody that you are not at peace with, maybe some of you, it's saying, Jesus, I want to be a follower of you. I believe, Jesus, that you are who you say you are. Maybe it's that conversation. Maybe some of you are in a relationship you know you're not supposed to be in a dating relationship, I should say, that you know you're not supposed to be in. Well, I think you know what to do. Some of you, you're struggling in finances and you're in debt and you know you're supposed to get out of debt. Then sell your car. Get out of debt. What are you going to do? Jesus, I ask you, give us eyes to see where you're showing up and showing off in our lives, that you would give us the strength to make the decisions in our lives that you're calling us to do. May we hear great reports of how you are working in people's lives to point people to you, that we would hear about people finding you at jobs, on the street. Jesus, we ask that you would do something very phenomenal in our lives. And may we see it. May we not miss those moments, Jesus. I thank you for your life. I thank you died on a cross for my sins. I thank you for this church that loves people, this church that partners with people. I thank you that Potential Church exists to spread the gospel across the nations. I thank you that they have partnered with Unlockchurch. I thank you for Unlockchurch and what you've done in a park with 379 people. I just ask that those people that found you last week find a church and connect with the church and grow and love you more, Jesus. Do something phenomenal in our lives in your name. Amen. I told you my hair looked like a Q-tip, and now you've seen it.
It wasn't that
doesn't.
bad.
It doesn't.
It wasn't that
Just
bad.
no, don't do it again. Just don't do it
I don't
again.
have an option when it grows out. But I hope you got something out of that. Lily, what would you leave people with, even from your teaching of time, the takeaway? What, how do we value time? How do we make it where maybe a different question for you, Lil? Maybe it's, how do we not rush God in his timing?
I would say it's an understanding that his timing is ultimately what you want, even though sometimes we get so tunnel visioned into our timing and the way we think things should be. And so it's getting to where God is already working, and then keep watching where he's going to show up. Keep waiting for him. Keep hoping, as we just came out of a series all about hope, and keep praying that his timing will be fulfilled. So I think it's getting to where he's working, and then you're not rushing yourself even in that too.
Lily's on one about praying right now, so
yes, she is.
Watch out. She'd be praying
we
big
gotta
things.
always be praying.
Well, I was just going to add to that. Like, I love that of just seeking out exactly where God's at. And then reminding yourself, maybe it's daily reminding yourself that ultimately God loves you. God knows what's best for you. So lean into where he's at and what you may not understand the timeline, but knowing that he loves you so much that his timeline is going to be what's best for you.
Okay, so we got a lot of cool things happening around here at Unlock Church. We want to make you aware of. One is Unlock Summer Camp is happening. We're really stoked about it.
Yes.
It is now like 2 weeks away. We'll be kicking it off here in the Twin Cities. Everyone's invited. It's a free event. And then we have high school, middle school camp happening, which we're really excited about that. Lily, what are the dates for that?
The dates are July 22nd through the 26th.
July.
I wanted to say June, but
you
it's
got
July.
it. You slid it in there. It was good. If we
22nd through the 26th.
It's 'cause
the challenge camp.
Okay, don't miss that. That's going to be awesome. $175. Get that paid. If you're going to come, you need to pay for it. Also, if you want to give your tithes and offering to your church, this is a perfect time to do that. You can text the number 77977 to the word unlock, and it'll walk you through how to do that. You'll get something back, and you click the link, and you can give. You can also go to unlockchurch.com/give to give that way. You can mail a check. You can get the address off of our website as well. Thank you for everybody that gives. We'll be back next week live doing a teaching on, what was it again?
Daily bread.
Daily bread. Woo-wee.
Good stuff.
It's gonna be a good one. It's Father's Day, so don't miss all the cool videos we drop in to honor our fathers, and we got something special for our fathers that you don't want to miss, dads. So chime in. Do you know what the sad fact about Father's Day is?
What?
It's one of the smallest and least attended Sundays because dads, when given what do you want to do on Sunday, I want to sleep in, or I want to go golfing, I want to go hunting, they don't inspire their family to come to church. So dad, break the statistic. Say I want to go to church first, and then I want to go get breakfast.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody, have a great Sunday. We'll see you back next week. Adios.
Bye, everybody.